Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, nearly 2 years after a plane crash near Yoakum took 4 lives, the sole survivor returns to the scene with a powerful message of hope and healing.
From a weapon of war to a symbol of peace, see how one Victoria church turns destruction into beauty.
Plus, Jimmy Carter's passing shines a spotlight on the often misunderstood world of hospice care.
And we'll be taking a look at the cold rain that's going to be with us tonight. It'll be all the way till about sunrise, and then there's going to be a little break, but we could see over an inch of rain. We're almost there, and we'll talk about what happens for the weekend coming up in a moment. Tell you more.
25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Brubaker. And now let's take a first look at your forecast. It is an alert day, and here's First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. And Mac's going to talk about the weather, but also he is a veteran of Los Angeles, and he still has some family in Los Angeles. So what are you hearing right now from people there after the wildfires?
Well, I mean, it's amazing destruction. Right now, the winds have settled down, but there's still little hot spots here and there. But by and large, it's going to be an enormous task to figure out, the depth of this destruction. Now, let me show you why that happened, because this is the same storm that's bringing us the rain and the snow. You see it right here? It's circulating in this fashion. And for us, it dumps up that Gulf moisture, Pacific moisture on top of the cold air, and we get this. But over here, when it's cold air in the Rockies, right about there, it flows downstream, and when it hits the mountains, and then goes up, and then comes down the seaside of it, it heats up and it dries up. That's the Santa Ana wind of California, which is almost backwards to what the rest of the country is doing. So they're hot, they're dry, and when you've got 80-mile-an-hour winds, the firefighters can do the best they can, but you can't stop it. It's like stopping a hurricane. You've got 100-mile-an-hour winds, dry conditions, and all this fire danger. Of course, here's Pacific Palisades, which is, some people are saying it's not there anymore. And here is a view of the satellite. You can see how the winds are blowing everything out. And one of the biggest concerns is the fire then creates its own wind. And all the embers flow up and then flow away and then start fires further downstream. This is what it looks like today at Malibu Beach, of all places. These homes were on the beaches, on the water, but there's not much left there as of today. Lots of destruction, and we'll certainly be watching for that. For you, we'll be talking about what to expect with this rain. It's going to be here for a while, and then what about the weekend? All that coming up in just a moment.
Mac, thank you. And back in Texas, as fans from across the country flock to Arlington for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, excitement is high despite the chilly, icy weather.
Yeah. Well, some Ohio State University and University of Texas supporters are arriving early in order to avoid travel disruptions, with some joking about trading one winter storm for another. Here's Amelia Magavero.
Because a storm is coming. A storm is on the way.
With only 48 hours to go till the Cotton Bowl Classic, Buckeyes and Longhorns fans were all seen flooding into North Texas, covered in team swag and smiles.
Just landed here about 2 hours ago.
So we're excited about that. We're happy to be here.
The winter weather expected Thursday morning, forcing some fans to hit the roads and skies a little earlier than planned.
Well, we're here ahead of the storm because, you want to get in here.
Especially for the Texas people. I know they're getting in there early. My son's coming down from Austin this afternoon.
And these Ohioans trading one winter storm in the Midwest for now another down south.
And I thought, well, we'll come down here and bring my shorts and, have a good time. And then I look at the forecast. They're going to get 10 inches of snow down there. And I'm going, what's up with that?
And we've lived up there for several years in terrible conditions with road conditions. When you're out on the roads, just take your time.
And even with the chance of snow and ice, Cotton Bowl officials say the game is still a go. The city has prepped all the roads. The infrastructure is also in place to make sure fans stay safe. Some folks still have flashbacks of the falling ice and snow during Super Bowl 2011, but stadium officials say there's no need to worry due to updated ice guards and warming systems.
It's 08!
But for these super fans, it's going to take a lot more than Mother Nature to keep them from cheering on their teams.
OH?
I-O.
Hook 'em horns.
It's 08!
Oh!
even with no snow in San Antonio, the weather is bringing travel troubles there. Flight delays and cancellations are stacking up, especially to Dallas, where all flights from San Antonio tonight are canceled. Frustrated travelers are dealing with rain, winds, and ground stops, with some waiting for hours. Airport officials are in constant communication with airlines and recommend that all travelers check their flight status for the latest updates.
If you're traveling by ground, you might run into some road hazards. The Texas Division of Emergency Management is focusing on helping stranded motorists. Emergency responders are on standby to help drivers stuck on the roads. If you're hitting the road, officials say to check current conditions on drivetexas.org. If you find yourself in need of help, you can call roadside assistance at 800-525-5555.
Layers of fluffy flakes, no school, and energy for days. The perfect storm for fun for these kiddos in Plano. For a lot of the children, it's their first time to see snow, calling it a treat in more ways than one. Not only did they play in the snow, they made snow cones topped with root beer and Sprite. And with classes already canceled for Friday, plans are already in place to do it all over again.
No freezing temperatures here, but 3 warming centers are open in Victoria tonight to get out of the cold and rain. The centers will also serve a hot breakfast in the morning. The warming centers are at Lady of Sorrows, Trinity Hall on West River Street, and First United Methodist Church on North Bridge Street, open to anyone. The Salvation Army on North Lewis Street is open to adult men only. The last few days have been devastating for residents living in Southern California. Wildfires have destroyed thousands of structures.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. Kristen Drummond spoke with one man who's just desperately trying to get back to see what's left of his home.
You can see this entire hillside completely burned. We are at the corner of Pacific Coast Highway and Temescal Canyon Road. Temescal Canyon Road is one of the streets that you can take to get into this coastal community, which has been absolutely devastated by this wildfire. This morning we've been seeing first responders coming and going through here, as well as some of the people who live here. Sam, thank you so much for joining us. We've seen you riding up and down PCH. What has this been like, and why are you here right now? This is a mandatory evacuation.
I mean, this is my life. This is my childhood. I grew up in the Palisades, and we tried getting in yesterday. Police wouldn't let us through, right? And we're trying to get in today. It's our house. We'll do everything for our house. And, you know, most of my friends, they've lost their house. We're the, few lucky people that our house is still there. We want to make sure we get all those memories and everything that's in that house. And it's just, I get they're just doing their job, but it's disappointing that we can't even get into our own homes.
Right now, what are you trying to do? Maybe even hike in? Because right now, trying to take one of the surface streets, it's not working.
They told us we got to go back to Venice. We parked our cars in Venice, got these bikes, and we got to go try to get in somewhere else, because they said that they would literally tackle us if we did. And in Los Angeles, they do this whole set and release stuff for everything else, but they're not letting me get to my own home.
Potentially to prevent people from possibly even looting it.
Yeah, I mean, we even have our IDs willing to show those guys, but I guess I get that they're just doing a job, and we appreciate all their help and all their hard work, but it's really disheartening. I mean, our family's in tears, the community's in tears. I mean, this is devastating. It's never going to be the same. I'm never going to be able to show my kids where I grew up. It's all gone. It's all gone.
It has been all gone. Thank you so much, Sam. We've been driving around the neighborhoods, homes completely demolished, maybe a chimney stack that's even left. I want to show you some more of this damage. So again, all the power is out here. You can see these trees have burned. You can even see over here, this tree just completely charred and black. The smoke right now so thick and heavy. Ash is falling all around us. We are still going to be out here covering the latest with this wildfire that has completely it's completely heartbroken this community, as you heard from Sam, who's just trying to get back to his home. Sounds like their house is still there, just wanting to retrieve whatever he can, because this is a very active situation, so something could turn and change at any given point in time. For now, we'll send it back to you. I'm Kristen Drummond reporting from Los Angeles.
In the Crossroads, a Victoria man is charged with aggravated assault against a public servant. Victoria police also arrested 25-year-old Jared Lewis on 6 other charges, including evading arrest with a vehicle. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $193,000 bond. A Yoakum man whose murder trial in 2022 ended in a mistrial entered a guilty plea for manslaughter. 23-year-old DeAndre Enoch is accused of killing 31-year-old John Calloway of Hallettsville in 2021. Enoch entered the plea in state district court. Sentencing is scheduled for January 27th. Almost 2 years ago, a small plane crashed near Yoakum. 4 people on board the plane from Memphis were killed. The 4 people who died were members of the Congregation of Harvest Germantown. One passenger, their pastor, Dr. Kenan Vaughn, survived. Vaughn was transported to a Victoria hospital, eventually sent to a larger trauma center in San Antonio. He underwent numerous operations and procedures to save his life. 2 years later, Vaughn will return to the crash site with a message of hope and redemption. The Redemption Story Texas event will be January 18th and 19th. Both evenings will include worship led by the Harvest Memphis worship team.
Former President Jimmy Carter is laid to rest in Plains, Georgia, following a private service at the church where he taught Sunday school. The motorcade with the Carter family walking alongside makes its way through town before he is buried next to his wife, Rosalind, on their property. Earlier, a state funeral at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. featured President Joe Biden delivering the eulogy, with former Presidents Clinton, Bush, Obama, and Trump in attendance. Carter was the oldest living former U.S. president when he passed away last month at 99. And hospice centers serve as caring places for patients with a terminal illness and their loved ones, though some people hold differing viewpoints.
You know, the care is getting attention with the death of Jimmy Carter, who was in hospice care for almost 2 years. 25 News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman joins us with more. Amaya?
Yes, Shawna and Don, thank you. Hospice centers provide several services in the end of a life care, but they tend to spark mixed opinions from the public. Hospice centers are designed to offer comfort, dignity, and peace to patients and their families during some of life's toughest moments. For some, they're an essential support system. For others, it comes with questions about the care or the emotional toll involved. We talked with a local hospice worker who shares his perspective, highlighting the focus on personalized care, genuine compassion, and building a supportive environment to help patients and families navigate this deeply personal journey.
What we want to do is we want to be able to be a support system for that family and for that patient. And so by providing a high level of care and quality of care, it provides education for the family on what to expect as to what's coming. But not only that, it gives a sense of comfort knowing that there is someone available at all times to be able to be there for them and their family member as well.
Garcia explains that hospice has nurses and CNAs who visit patients at home and at least twice a week, making sure the process is as comfortable as possible. These visits aren't just about companionship. They are also offer spiritual support when needed. As the conversations around hospice care continues, organizations like Crown Hospice stay focused on their mission, helping patients live with dignity in life's final chapters. Shawna and Dawn, back to you.
Amaya, thank you. And this brings us to our viewer poll tonight. Here's the question. What aspect of hospice care do you think is most important? Is it pain management, emotional support, spiritual care, family involvement, or all of the above? And as really been the case all day long, with the most votes, all of the above. 86% hospice care means that much to so many people. We thank you so much for voting, and we want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part.
A symbol of war transformed into a vessel of peace. A once deadly weapon now cradles flowers on the altar of a Victoria church. It's a powerful reminder of hope and renewal.
Indeed. And here's local veteran journalist Bill Clough with the story.
Unless you're a regular member of the congregation who attends the 8 a.m. service in the chapel of Trinity Lutheran Church in Victoria, you might not notice that the vases holding the altar flowers are made from World War I artillery shells. No one knows how many shells were fired during the war to end all wars. Estimates range from 900 million to 1.2 billion. During and after the war, soldiers and prisoners of war transformed some of the brass shells into keepsakes. Doughboys brought them home, as what the French call souvenirs. One of those soldiers was Henry Nook Kickendall.
My great-great-uncle served in World War I, where he was assigned to guard German prisoners of war. He befriended one of the prisoners who was a silversmith, and the prisoner crafted these vases for him out of the artillery shells, and he brought 2 of the vases home with him and donated them to the church.
I thought it was a little bit odd that artillery shell pieces were on the altar. Maybe it is not a bad reminder for us to know that that is our reality, but then as the people of God, we have a special calling to work for peace during any time.
There has never been a time when there wasn't a war somewhere in the world. Right now, the Red Cross counts 120, which makes the words of Isaiah, considered by some second only to Moses, particularly pertinent. They shall forge their swords into plowshares, and sometimes into vases.
This type of artwork is called trench art, although scholars say only a fraction was created by soldiers serving in those trenches. Victoria College is making it easy to get ready for spring 2025 with a Super Saturday Express enrollment event. It's this Saturday, January 11th at the Victoria main campus from 10 to 2. Apply for admissions, get financial aid help, enroll in classes, make payments, or talk to an advisor about your goals. Visit victoriacollege.edu or call the college if you need more information.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us coming up on 25 News now at 10. Former President and President-elect Donald Trump now faces sentencing tomorrow in his hush money case after a Supreme Court ruling.
And after serving 34 years for her husband's murder, an Oklahoma woman gets a second chance at freedom. Find out how a new law led to an unexpected twist. President-elect Donald Trump can be sentenced in his New York hush money case tomorrow. This comes after a 5-4 Supreme Court decision rejected Trump's emergency request to delay the proceeding. The court ruled that some of Trump's concerns could be addressed during his appeal, and it's unlikely sentencing will impact his responsibilities. Trump is expected to appear virtually for his sentencing after being convicted on 34 counts of falsifying business records related to hush money payments to Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential campaign. Trump is appealing the conviction.
An Oklahoma woman sentenced to life without parole for her husband's 1990 murder is getting a second chance after more than 34 years in prison, released under the Oklahoma Survivors Act. Lisa Moss testified about enduring abuse and her brother's role in killing her husband. Moss becomes the first to be freed under this law. It gives hope to others who have been victims of domestic violence.
Well, too drunk to even stand. That's how Las Vegas Metropolitan Police described NFL Raiders defensive end Charles Snowden before they arrested him last month for allegedly driving under the influence. Body cam footage shows officers responding to a crash at a gas station where Snowden was unresponsive at first, then told officers he thought he was in Florida. Snowden is charged with a first offense DUI due in court in April.
We're going to be taking a look at your weather. It's a cold 39 degrees with rain continuing to fall. That rain will continue through the night into tomorrow morning. Then we actually see a little bit of sun, but will we cool down? Yes, we'll have all that coming up in just a moment. Well, we still have alerts, as a matter of fact. This is for later tomorrow evening. I'll tell you why. Friday night into Saturday morning, we're going to clear the skies out. The north wind will kick in, and we're going to be below freezing, 28 to 32, so another freeze for about 2 to 4 hours. So this is going to be a very cold Saturday morning. But right now you can see here we are. We're getting rain bands, some heavy, some light. It'll continue moving through. We look upstream, excuse me, and all of this system down here is going to be rolling over our area tonight. We've already had 3/4 of an inch of rain. We're probably going to get another ½ inch at least. And so we're going to get like a storm total of 1 to 2 inches around here, and that's pretty good stuff. Little icy roadway or ice pellets falling in the hill country. But of course the snow is from the Dallas area northward. I've got a map that'll show you how much actual snow they got here according to the Weather Service. Let's see, Dallas 2 inches, Decatur got 7 inches, Graham got 4, Gainesville got 4 as well, and Paris got 1 inch. So basically all the snow was in and around the Dallas Metroplex, but almost a little bit farther to the west. So for tonight, we're going to be above freezing, but it's cold and wet. This is the freeze warning for Saturday morning. So yes, tomorrow is going, Don, tomorrow is going to be an alert day, okay?
Thank you.
Just want to make sure we put the flag up. And then, of course, if you're along the coast, it won't be as cold, but it will be close to freezing. And now, the storm now that's in Dallas is going to start rolling across the central part of the country, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, all the way out to North Carolina, while West Texas is going to start to clear out as well. As you can see right about here, we do have a clearing line. The snow has ended in Midland and in Abilene. It is now just along the, well, I guess the I-35 corridor right about there. Here's that storm that we were talking about earlier. This has caused the howling winds to hit the mountains, rise up, and then go down to sea level, and that's what gave them the unbelievable 100-mile-an-hour winds. So here's a future tracker. We start here on Wednesday night. We go forward, Thursday night rather. This is Friday morning, okay? So we start to clear, or the rain ends. The clouds will still be here. Then by about noontime, the clouds will actually clear and we'll see a little bit of sun, but that north wind will be rather sharp and rather cold, and that's what's going to give us the dry air that'll drop the temperature on Saturday morning. That's when it'll be very cold, but the rest of Saturday will be okay after we get up to that chilly morning. Port Lavaca, you're going to get down to about 40, get up to about 50 tomorrow, even though we'll see a little break in the sun. That north wind is going to be at 20 miles an hour, so that's what you're going to have to bundle up for. So your Friday in Cuero, we get down to about 39, 38, and get up only to about 50 degrees. So there you see the clouds thinning out. So rain overnight, and then things are slowly clearing up for tomorrow, being Friday. And then Saturday, we do see the sun a little bit more, but that north wind keeps us in the 50s. And then Sunday, another north wind kicks in. We'll get up to 64, but then chilly weather will continue on through the early part of next week as we continue with our winter weather pattern. We'll see if we get any more rain next week on Wednesday, but overnight on the sloppy side, so drive carefully early in the morning. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. And we'll toss it over to Maxwell with sports.
All right, Mac, and after the break, I'll tell you who is going to be our first athlete of the week here in 2025. Find out in a few minutes here. Sports. All right, everyone. So to start our sports block here tonight we're going to highlight our first athlete of the week here for 2025. Now, last year, we had a lot of football players and volleyball players here in the Crossroads. Well, this year, we're going to start off with the basketball player here in our area, and it's going to the St. Joseph Flyers basketball star, Bennett Ferguson. So here's more for our athlete of the week. Our first athlete of the week here in 2025 goes to St. Joseph Flyers men's basketball star, Bennett Ferguson. He's led the Flyers in scoring this season so far and has been a senior leader here for this team here in the early going. Ferguson says he has a deep connection with Flyers head coach Andre Thomas, and they go way back.
You know, it feels good. I've known him forever, been playing AAU summer with him forever, so I like the team. It feels good playing.
Now, having this long connection with Coach Thomas back to his AAU days, Ferguson knows his coaching philosophy is pretty tough, and he's ready for his practices every week.
I like to stay conditioned, usually a pretty intense practice, just get ready for the games, because, I mean, we want to go super hard in practice so the games feel like nothing.
Now, grinding through these practices have helped make Ferguson more resilient and energetic on the basketball court, and head coach Andre Thomas notices for sure.
A young man that loves the game, that knows the game inside and out, it ain't much you have to say. I can give him a look and he knows exactly what I'm talking about and what to do. He's just an extraordinary young man. And
with Thomas being very proud of Ferguson here throughout his 4 years here being a Flyer, he just hopes that these two can make a last run here to the postseason, as they are currently 6-3 overall and just beginning district play. Wish the Flyers luck the rest of the way this season, and congrats again to Bennett Ferguson for being this week's athlete of the week. All right, congrats again there to Bennett Ferguson. But now going over from some yesterday news there with Calhoun head coach and AD Richard Whittaker, who turned in his retirement papers into the district there yesterday. And he'll still stay on board, though, there until the end of the spring semester. But earlier today, I went to Fort Lavaca to talk with Whittaker, and he took some time to thank everyone to help him along his 26-year career.
There's so much love between me and the kids, and I really appreciate everything. I appreciate all the support from the parents, and our administration has been great since I've been here. Larry Nichols was the superintendent that brought me in here, and you know, the principal at that time was Ed Presley, and those guys were just wonderful. I appreciate the school board at that time back in '05 giving me the opportunity to come here and be their head coach and AD, and just it's been wonderful. It's been great, and like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna stay here and cheer on the Sand Crabs.
And Whittaker, again, will be cheering for the Sand Crabs there. Like they're on the sidelines there, as again, he'll be taking over as, again, an ambassador role there at Calhoun High School. So he'll be still staying around there in Calhoun. So they're still going to figure out what his replacement will be. And again, that'll be happening there in the next couple of weeks. And we'll have some more information about my interview there with their coach, Richard Whittaker, there later on 25 News Now there over the weekends. That's going to do it here in sports, though. Don and Shawna, back to you.
Max, thank you, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take one last look at this lovely weather we're having. And finally, downtown Boston gets a giant pink pick-me-up with some playful new sculptures. Time to think pink.
An Australian zoo welcomes its biggest ever funnel web spider named Hemsworth. This massive arachnid measures a whopping 3.6 inches across, bigger than the park's previous record holder, Hercules. Originally mistaken for a female due to its size, Hemsworth turns out to be a male, making him even more impressive since males are usually smaller. His venom will be used to make life-saving anti-venom. Fittingly, the spider's name nods to the Hemsworth brothers, towering Hollywood stars from Australia. Don't worry though, unlike Chris and Liam Hemsworth, the spider isn't hitting the big screen anytime soon. And he can stay over in Australia for all I care.
You know,
stay over there.
Makes him a Spider-Man if he's a male. Royal treasures hidden since World War II are recovered from a Lithuanian cathedral crypt. Wow. The artifacts, including burial crowns, you see there, jewelry and gold pieces from medieval European rulers, symbolize Lithuania's history. First discovered in 1931 during a post-flood cleanup, they were displayed briefly before being hidden during World War II. They will now be restored and displayed soon. We're talking centuries old and found. Oh my goodness.
700 years.
At least, yeah.
Medieval times, amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we've got this rain and this cold weather, and it'll continue all night long. But the good news is by sunrise, the rain will pull away. It may still be on the overcast side, but we're even going to get rid of the clouds by like about noontime. So there's improving weather for tomorrow. The winter storm in the North Texas area is going to be pulling away as well, so that by Friday night, things are going to clear up very nicely. It'll be cold. As a matter of fact, Saturday morning, we'll get down to about 28. so another freeze is likely to happen. Next week looks a little more quiet than this week. It was pretty busy.
All right, at least the weekend looks nice. Well, Boston's got some big pink visitors turning heads downtown. Giant inflatable figures dubbed Mr. Pink are popping up in alleyways and peeking through restaurant windows. These playful sculptures are brightening up Boston's winter gloom and making their U.S. debut. You can find them at 6 spots around the city now, with more surprises popping up.
John Mellencamp wants to buy them and put them in his little pink houses.
Yeah.
If you can fit them.
That's right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Join Carolina, Parker Cox, 25 News Now Sunrise, 5 a.m. Good night.